Hello, everybody, and welcome to another interview or episode. It'll probably be an episode of the Holly Wrestling Podcast. I'm very unorganized, so God knows what episode this is. Hopefully in the 80s. I am joined by. I had a list of everything that you are involved with, but I just said I'm a woman of many talents. It's Jessy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
As good as we can be during the lockdown. Trying to keep tipping over and doing enough content to kind of tip over. But how's life at the moment? How's 2021 started off?
Not much we can do really. Work. No. I go to work and I come home. Try to do content. Have as much motivation as a rock currently. So
yeah, I get that.
It ends up I just end up playing Warzone till quite late at night. That's my life now.
It's not a bad way to be in this current circumstances, and anything to keep the spirits up. But yeah, as I was saying, you're a model of in the media team of Powered4TV, content creator for PWunlimited, and you're going on with Sean Ross Sapp to do predictions. How at least that keeps you. But I'd say that's quite a blessing to be like always. Someone's always asking you a question or always asking to come on something or doing Twitch streams as well. Obviously.
It's been like, I don't know. I haven't really done a podcast in ages. I keep myself to myself quite a lot. I do all my content, I do my own stuff and keep myself to myself. So it's kind of nice when people do kind of reach out, oh, do you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, all right then. But yeah, no, I was really excited. Obviously Sean Ross Sapp messaged me and I was like, this is cool. So
yeah.
And I've barely even watched wrestling properly in weeks. But I was like, Royal Rumble is my favourite.
I like the Royal Rumble.
Oh, I can't wait. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Rumble. I've got my predictions, but we're gonna get them out next week. But I'm hoping for a good pay-per-view, and hopefully they pre-record one of their Rumbles, because I don't want 60 people in the same gorilla position for a Rumble. I don't think that'd be. Whether the morals are good behind the Royal Rumble this year, let's see. But hopefully they do it in the safest way possible.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually.
Yeah, I hope they pre-recorded somewhere. Like, I hope they kind of do some, or at least like only like 5 people in gorilla position at the same time, which is probably normal for a Rumble. But
maybe they do like what they did maybe like Money in the Bank.
Yeah, a cinematic Royal Rumble would be just funny. Just a clusterfuck. Imagine a cinematic.
That would be something that would just. I wouldn't even know where to start with that.
No, but what's so good about the Rumble for you? It's quite an obvious question, but like, what are your favorite Rumbles? Any favorite memories?
I think it's just the surprises. That's the thing. Like, and it's everyone comes out, even the people you expecting to come out. Like last year's. Oh god, it was a year ago already.
I know. Yeah, that's scary.
Last year was so good. Like, that was up there with one of my favorite Rumbles. I'd say my favourite is 2008 when Cena returned, and obviously my love for John Cena.
Yeah, we'll get on to John Cena in a minute. Yeah. I think that Jamie told me about your love for Cena and Orton, so we'll give you a mark out moment. We'll give you your mark out moment.
I've got I can show you my pillow as well of John Cena. So you're welcome. All right. Yeah, 2008 I reckon is probably my favourite, but yeah, last year's one was a top contender, so I'm interested this year. I've got some ideas of what may happen.
I don't think The Rock is coming back.
No, neither.
No, I don't think. I have an idea of what they're. Sure, I'll say it now. I think Daniel Bryan's going to win it. I think his final full-time run is going to be putting Roman Reigns over. I think Reigns and Daniel Bryan in the feud will be amazing. I don't think it's going to be I think a Raw. I don't think a Raw superstar. If a Raw superstar wins the Rumble and they have to build that, I couldn't sit through all that. So let Raw do some sort of John Cena. I think there's rumors John Cena's returning, so I'm sure you've seen those. I think he might. John Cena and Drew for Mania. I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain about that. But I
don't think he will return. I would love it. I'd be in tears, but I don't think he will. I really don't.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's always that Vince has definitely had a call with the Undertaker. Definitely been like, will you please come back? I'm struggling because he doesn't believe in anyone else, even though he doesn't.
He does not.
Even though, yeah, who would be your like these? There's obviously Apollo's getting a good character with Roman at the moment. We got Buddy Murphy, Jesus. Who are those superstars that you're like Vince is very
I think
underappreciated.
I was saying to someone the other day about who might win. I think it could maybe be Big E.
And then give the Intercontinental title to Apollo or something like that. I'd like that because Kofi has a broken jaw at the moment. Unfortunately, I think.
I can imagine them pushing Big E. Big
time. Yeah, he's doing some really good stuff.
I don't want it to be anybody that's so expected. I can't deal with it anymore.
I'd love a little bit of shock. I mean, it's not going to happen, but if Sami Zayn won the run, like if Sami Zayn snuck under the ring and like did it, because Sami Zayn being a shit-eating dickhead is the best Sami Zayn in the world.
He's brilliant. I love the way he hypes like Shinsuke Nakamura up when he comes out.
And now he's doing this like Fidel Castro. Like the match he had with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, the ladder match is one of my favorite matches from last year because it was so genius where he like had the key and then Sami has the belt and then you look back at the ring and AJ Styles' face is just like, what the fuck just happened here? Like
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it will be him.
Cesaro is on fire at the moment.
Please. I would absolutely lose my marbles if he won. I would honestly be so happy. Like, he's the most underrated guy. He would be the whole package. If they push that guy so much, he would be a package and a half. Like
his match against Daniel Bryan last week was unbelievable, and Shinsuke Nakamura is getting a push with that like those two are doing, like I like the way Cesaro's more of a heel and Nakamura's kind of after that he's got to be a babyface. So there's like so
have Nakamura win.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't complain. Like to be honest, anyone who messes with Roman Reigns right now is like I'm looking forward to Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens in the Last Man Standing match just as much as the Rumble because that Roman Reigns, who would have thought Roman Reigns would have been the best character in wrestling? Like AEW does good stuff and all their jigsaw puzzles are moving into place with like the Hangman storyline, which I love. But Roman Reigns is the most consistent thing in wrestling. But
I went through a stage where I was so annoyed because he was getting so overbooked, and the time he had off, and then he came back. And he just like having like Paul Heyman with him was just absolutely just wonderful. And even the whole thing with him and Jey Uso was absolutely killing it, and I was so proud and I was so happy, and I was like, I absolutely love it. But yeah, Roman Reigns has been absolutely just killing it for months, and and I love it.
Yeah, I think I'll go to Final Four of Daniel Bryan, Nakamura, Cesaro, and because it's outside the box, Cesaro and Jey Uso, because I think Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan will be the final two. I'll put my neck on the line now. I think that might
would be absolutely buzzed if Jey Uso won.
Yeah, because then you'd have an interesting story. I don't know what Jimmy's situation is at the moment, but I mean, there's so much you can do with that, and I'm sure you're going to talk about it with Sean Ross Sapp, and that'd be. But I mean, we might as well. John Cena and Randy Orton. Jamie called him ugly. And you can bury Jamie if you want. He big timed me earlier as well, so you can bury him if you want. Hi, Jamie.
That's horrible. He knows how much I love him as well. He knows how much I love both of them. Like Randy Orton is just.
Are you like one versus at all again with this Randy Orton thing? Because I know he's out. What do you think of that stuff at the moment?
I don't know. It's a very not really digging the mask situation.
No, I likened it to like when Deadpool first like started, like the first scene in Deadpool when he has that mask on that's not like the finished mask.
You reckon it's Deadpool underneath the mask?
Yeah, like and the makeup was awful as well. I don't know much about special effects or makeup at all, but it looked like his nose was very purple. I don't think a nose goes that color. I've had a broken nose. It doesn't go that color when you skin doesn't bruise purple. And just Triple H turning into Alexa Bliss. Like you wouldn't think Raw and Smackdown are the same company. It's a bit weird, but like I do agree. Like Randy Orton, like the Edge stuff was good. He got very poor. Like they should have stopped the Randy Orton Drew feud for the sake of the two people involved in it. They shouldn't have kept wrestling. Like they had to because obviously they're booking it, but having like 6 matches and having an ambulance match not where all the legends come out not be a payoff was very weird.
Yeah.
That sounded like Vince running out of ideas. But what do you think of Randy Orton's, like, what's coming for Randy Orton in the future? Like, what's this feud gonna be? Because I don't think anyone knows.
No, but do you know what? I think the last few months has been the best Randy Orton in years.
Yeah.
Really has. So obviously I've always been a huge fan of him. I used to hate him when I was younger, but obviously he blossomed into the most spectacular looking man ever. But do you know what, like, honestly, the last few months, him and Roman Reigns have really kept me, and Jey Uso actually really kept me invested in it all.
Yeah, the WWE side, yeah, like Roman Reigns has kind of kept me invested in it. Like on the other side, like I'm really loving, I can't wait. I've said it, like the best moment of 2021 will be when Hangman Page kicks out with a one-winged angel and wins the belt. I'm convinced.
Yeah, I've never. It's been hard because, see, I've tried to keep up with wrestling as much as I can through this.
There's just so much. So
hard. It's been really hard to, obviously, because you're not going to wrestling shows, you're not going living the normal kind of life. It's been very, very hard to watch. And AEW, I think they do some great things. There's stuff they should definitely change. But what they've managed to do is brilliant. Obviously, the whole stuff with obviously Brody was absolutely incredible, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt on the way. I'm looking forward to getting that, and hopefully that money's gone to help. No, like AEW, they're really moving their pieces in the right place. Hopefully, they just start, like, NXT are literally made that Dusty Classic with the women just to flex all over AEW and be like look at your, like, book your women's division properly. And then Kenny came out and said, like, I would love for the women's division to be great. And it's like, you're booking the women's division. We've literally known this for ages.
Honestly, I don't even know how much I have moaned about that division. They have some talented women on there.
They have some serious talent. Big Swole is fantastic. I personally don't like the introduction of people like Jade Cargill, who isn't just kind of just upsets the balance, because she's clearly a vehicle for Shaq to come in, and it's kind of taken away from. We're getting Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in a few weeks. That'll prove. We've had Serena Deeb, amazing. Ty Conti is one of the most improved wrestlers. Like, watching Ty Conti last week was fantastic.
I've enjoyed Anna Jay.
Yeah, like I love everything Dark Order.
Yeah, I think the whole thing what they've done with her has been fantastic.
Her and Stu Grayson and John Silver are just funny. I can't stop. John Silver is my favorite wrestler. Like, I've made it no secret that on my birthday I want a John Silver cameo because they're hilarious. But no, the Dark Order stuff is brilliant, and they've booked Anna Jay quite strong as well. Like, she hasn't really lost much, and when she has lost, it was a big title match. But no, yeah, like the women's division in NXT, that was a pure just flex. That was just to go, like, look at our division.
Yeah, I was buzzing for the new signings though. I was like, when I saw the whole Priscilla Kelly, I was like, oh, not expecting it. I was like, holy, that's mental. Yeah,
because they have. She's the same as Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett. I throw Scarlett Bordeaux in there as well, where like the character, it like engrosses you so much that you forget she's a good wrestler. So when she actually wrestles, you're like, oh shit, like this is. I don't think Priscilla Kelly can do some of the stuff that she did on the Indies. I definitely she can't do some of the stuff that she did on the Indies. But I'm really interested to see her wrestling side, because we've seen matches from her.
I'm excited. I really, really like her.
I am very.
I know Jamie is in love, absolutely in love with her.
Oh yeah. He's watching NXT right now, so we'll probably get a Jamie tweet. And he was telling me he's catching up, so once he sees it, he'll probably mark out. But speaking of Jamie and Callum, how did you guys get to know the two boys? Because I've gotten to know it. I literally put out a tweet to Jamie being like, "Come on!" And ever since, Jamie just put out a tweet being like, "These guys are really good," and I was just like, "Oh, I fell in love with them. They're the best lads ever, aren't they? They're just like, what was it like? How long have you known them? And like, because obviously."
Nearly 2 years, I think.
It's mad.
When I first kind of started out doing all my content, I went on the old podcast of them ages ago, and I don't think I didn't speak to Callum straight away, but I spoke to Jamie. Obviously, I speak to them quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're honestly the nicest guys. The nicest guys. I was meant to visit them in November, but obviously COVID kind of.
Well, apparently, once the COVID is over, we're all gonna hopefully once Rivers gets a gig up, we'll all go. I'll fly over and we'll have a big party. So, but the content they're doing is they're setting the standard for.
They're just absolutely fantastic.
The work ethic.
They work so hard. Like they put me to shame, and I work hard. But
no! Honestly, you guys
absolutely like.
You guys are motivation for me. Like you guys, you and Callum and Jamie just work so hard, and it's like if you keep putting out content, then it'll grow, and then like you and those two lads are proof because it's just consistent. It's always on people's timeline because you see a lot of people who put up their first episode, they get like 2 views, and then they say, "Oh no, I don't like this." My first few episodes, I want to react to my first few episodes because they were me and Kieran were terrible. Like I gave away my password for everything in the second episode. That's how bad it was. So that's how bad it was. Trying to do a Jericho ad, I got a bit carried away. But no, it's like it's really like the positive side of Twitter is like the community, and there's some great people out there.
Yeah, there are, and I've made so many like good friends, so many good friends. See, I try and keep out quite a lot of it because I'm just too busy doing other things. I'm always doing something. Yeah. So I try to, I speak to who I need to speak to.
Yeah, and keep anything to keep the mental health up. Well, yeah, that's a good mental health is a very, very, very important thing nowadays, like linked to Twitter and stuff like that, because it can be a toxic place. What kind of things have you been doing during lockdown to kind of keep the head up outside of, because you have such a busy schedule? I don't know how much time you get to kind of let your hair down, but what do you do to kind of get away from it all?
Recently, obviously, I haven't done as much as I should be doing. Obviously, because I have a full-time job, I do all that, and then on top of that, I do everything else I do. Yeah. And then the weekends, I do whatever I do. But obviously, I play a lot of games. I watch a lot of TV. I have to wind down. My schedule is like always constant. My mind, I just don't sleep much anymore. I don't
No, yeah. I was speaking to Clayton Long from Club Rock Shandy, the Irish tag team, last night, and he was just saying that like it's that he's just like picked up a skateboard and started skateboarding. I've done a bit of running. It's just important because I like to. We always like to say like it's the lockdowns increasing in Ireland and England are kind of in a similar situation where the lockdowns are kind of getting longer. It's very, very important to kind of mind your mental health, because especially if you're on Twitter, you can get bogged down into it. You can get really. Yeah,
I think the first few months of lockdown, I went through some stuff, and then my mental health was bad. It was really bad, and I just couldn't. I couldn't bother to content, and not having all the wrestling stuff to kind of fall back on, and obviously after the whole WrestleMania thing, and it just all went. But obviously, I had a lot of support, which I was very lucky with, and I kind of just thought to myself, get your life together, Jess, because you've been a bit of an idiot. So, yeah, it's hard. I think with everything that has been going on, like so many people that have struggled, and with them like closing gyms and things like that. Oh yeah. Like a lot of my guy mates have been in such a bad way, and it's so sad because they're so used to having this body and looking after themselves, and they can't. Yeah,
a lot of it's just like I don't want to go into this too much, but like government negligence as well, because there's like me personally, I'm a big golf fan, and they closed golf courses when they were doing a great job, and they lumped them in with the same as like people, even the pubs that were doing their job properly. I feel sorry for, because it was all people gathering in houses on house parties, but there's obviously easier targets than targeting house parties, because you can't really target people. I think a lot of people suffer because of that, because the gyms did a great job. I don't know what they were like in England, but they did a fantastic job here. The golf courses, they're 7,000 yards long, and there's three people in each group, and you're socially distant, and it was lumped in with, because there was just some silly stuff, and that's what gets people bogged down. That's where I, like, once the golf course closed, I was in a bit of a hole, and then but some people, like, I picked up running. Just find something. I don't think you'd echo that sentiment. Just find something. Like, you're doing your Twitch streams, which I'll get on to, that are the Twitch streams with the lads that are fantastic. Zoom call a friend or something like that. The game Jackbox. Don't just guys, buy Jackbox. Don't stream it. Buy Jackbox and have a good time with your mates, because
I had absolutely no idea what I was doing last night.
Oh man, it's
no clue what I was. I was clicking things. I had no idea.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Like it's when you get into that game with your friends and you get all the inside jokes, it's dangerous.
I honestly had no idea what I was doing. Whatever I was playing, I don't even know what I was playing last time. I was playing something and I still don't know what it was.
Yeah, and I wanted to go on to this. Obviously, as we can hear from that beautiful accent, you're from Essex. And Essex comes with a lot of Essex gets in the press a lot for the stereotypes or the people. What are some of your favorites, or what are like the funniest moments, or like do you want to dispel some like myths about Essex, because it's a weird and wonderful place.
Anytime I say to anyone, "Oh, I'm from Essex," like, "Oh, what Towie?" No, the whole of Essex isn't just Towie. The whole.
Yeah.
Like, it's one area. That's what I mean. It's not the whole thing. Like when Towie first come out, the stereotype was really, really that, because everyone wanted to be like the people in Towie. They wanted it. And then when everyone was like, "Oh, actually, we're getting a bit of a bad reputation. It's not really looking great." Everyone was like, "Right, we're sticking to that. That city, that town can be just Towie. The rest of us can live our lives." But yeah, I get a lot of stick.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like I have an article here from Essex Live News that's like 26 myths that are actually true. It's like Ream and FML is one of them on here. There's just some. We drink way too much, but that's everywhere. I'm from Ireland, like we're all alcoholics over here. We're obsessed with money. I was just reading through these, being like, Jesus Christ, they're burying their own town. But like
we get absolutely buried.
Yeah, and it's like I've heard rumors that like one of the most famous people from Essex is Joey Essex, and apparently he's not actually that stupid. He's
very smart. He's actually a very smart guy.
He's actually a very smart. He's a very smart guy, and he does know how to blow his nose. Apparently,
it's all an act. What he does is all an act. The whole thing.
It's genius in a way. It's its own form of genius. Genius comes in many forms. Genius.
I've actually met him, and he's actually really lovely. Really, really lovely.
Yeah.
Obviously, because when you go out around here and you do go towards more of that area, you meet all these people.
Oh yeah.
But they're just normal people to me.
Yeah, it's wrestling characters. It's turned up to 100. If you meet Randy Orton, he's not going to punch you in the face. Like,
do you know what? I
wouldn't. Yeah, actually, that's actually a bad example. Probably would. But people like that's what the best thing about it. I don't know about like doing this job. Or not job, just doing the interview. It's quite nice to see the human side of like the wrestlers, because a lot of people just don't. A lot of people who are like ignorant to the podcast, like there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I hate podcasts, stop shilling podcasts" or whatever. But like they don't really see. But wrestlers are like some of the they're just some of the most down to earth people who just happen to have to turn their own selves up to 100 when they're in the ring. And I'm sure you have the same.
The majority of people I talk to every day are wrestlers now. I've made friends that are wrestlers. And I speak to them all the time, and the character what we see usually is completely opposite to me having a phone call with whoever.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the fact that people can change and they can be a person.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I mean, there's pros and cons to. I know I've talked to Callum about it, like that, like the fourth wall being broken down. Like you don't get any surprises anymore, very rarely. But like the good thing about it is that like you can be like just people can express themselves and be like humans. Because I'd say back in the day, wrestlers just couldn't do anything. Like I'd say like if like so you've seen things where like people getting mobbed and crowds getting like. But I'd say it's nice to kind of have that human side to them as well. Because the Twitch streaming I think is fantastic. I love. Like I pop in on Adam Cole's streams, and there he seems like just a really, really nice guy. And then obviously I love Shay's streams. I'm hoping to get Shay on. Talk to me about the 24-hour stream or just the streams in general with Billy Hayes, Kyle Fletcher. Kyle, that stream when I think you popped in on your lunch break. That was a hefty stream.
I was sitting at my desk at work, working, just watching them two, and when Shay was like on the phone and Kyle was just sitting there, just downing these shots, just going, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And apparently he was in a bad way. bad way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they poured them into shot glasses. I just eyeball it from the can. I was just like, why would you be arsed?
So funny.
But how are they for you? Like mental health day must be the best thing in the world because they make me happy just watching them because there's so many cool personalities on them. They're just genuine.
I think what I say this to Shay all the time. I praise him all the time. I praise him too much. I'm too nice to him. But what he has been doing, it's amazing that a lot of wrestlers are doing, Twitch streams, gaming, everything. What Shay's doing, where he's just bringing everyone together, is brilliant. And each time I've done it a couple of times now with them, and we have such a laugh. And then even there's been nights where we haven't properly streamed, but we've all ended up on a game together. There's quite a few nights where a few of us just played Warzone, just had a chat and just played Warzone, and it is nice. It is nice that you can obviously still talk to everybody, and if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't know these people either. I wouldn't have a clue. I've never even met Shay. I've never even met him. I've only been friends with him like a month.
Oh no, I haven't met Jamie and Callum and yourself, haven't even matches, but you are up there with like the people I respect the most and are just really, really nice. Like there's so many like people that you kind of like this is kind of like my college phase where I've met like people who are kind of like-minded, and then on Twitter you find a few people that are kind of like-minded. It's so nice to see that like you've gone like I've gone from being like in a low place to kind of like finding people who are like the same stuff that I do, because I'm sure I don't know how long you've been a wrestling fan, but what was it like in school when you were was it
I didn't tell anyone for a very, very long time. Like we said, the whole Essex thing, it's not for a girl, it's not known. It's not, unless you'll get
and that's sad. I find that really find it
is really sad. And it wasn't, I've watched it since I was 7 years of age, and I'm 25 now. I've watched it since I was 7, and I kept it and like kind of under wraps until I was about 20. I watched it. So I watched it all that time behind everyone's back. No one knew anything. And it wasn't literally till I was about 20. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let everyone know. And then here we are. And this is kind of what's happened now. And don't get me wrong, I speak to people all the time. They're like, oh, so what that content and what do you do? And I'm like, oh, wrestling. They're like, what?
Yeah,
I do that. But like, over here, like here and in Essex, it wasn't cool. It wasn't, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I wanted to be one of the cool kids. I wanted to be someone cool. And that wasn't cool then, if I'm honest.
Yeah, like our podcast is called the Hallway Wrestling Podcast because me and Kieran talked about it in the hallway in school, and like we'd have like these, just me and Kieran, and I think there was one other guy, but some people are just like the day after WrestleMania 33. I didn't watch it live. Day after WrestleMania 33, I went into school. Some guy had never watched it, just went, the Hardy Boys returned, and I was just like, all right, you don't even know who they are, and you're telling me this, and then like. It's the stigma around it is the main problem with it is people think we think of it as a sport when we don't. We are
it's not real, right? Yeah, I know that.
I know, but you're like a Marvel fan. Is Superman real? Is Spider-Man real? No, he's not. He's not a real person. I find that so brain dead, like for want of a better term, that people who like who are, if you're a movie fan, which most people are, they're not real. So why we treat it as, it's called World Wrestling Entertainment for one example. It's not sport. We don't think of it as sport. It's a theater production where there's characters. These guys don't actually set each other on fire or like want to kill each other, but they make us believe it. And once you get engrossed in it, you'll actually quite like it.
That's why, like, I've always said, obviously I'm quite different to my friends. They don't, obviously, like my girl mates, they don't watch it. They don't pay attention. And I've said to them, obviously, because since the whole lockdown, I said, as soon as this is all done and we can go back to wrestling shows, I'm going to take you to one and you're going to see why I like it.
Oh man, OTT shows, and I'm sure they're the same in like in all these shows, and like in like they are not. I go there for the wrestling when there's a good storyline, but I go there to get hammered and scream at people and just enjoy with my mates. Like I can't wait till it comes back, and hopefully in a better place and for the right reasons. And I can't wait because I can't wait just for all the homegrown talent to get a chance. I just can't wait for all the people coming through who deserve it. There's so many people who are making a name for themselves during the lockdown. I just can't wait because, as you're saying, like the experience, you can bring someone who isn't a fan and they'll fall in love with it. Like,
Yeah.
I know so many people. I'm sure you've seen. I know so many people who guys who bring their girlfriends, and like that becomes like a regular date night for them, like going to the wrestling, like, and the girlfriend doesn't even know, and then she ends up wearing like a Be Cool shirt in terms of Ireland, or like someone random's like shirt, and you're like, that's it, you get engrossed in it, because there's people like it's not a sport, it's a laugh and a night.
Anybody that it's like just going to try something for the first time, you might enjoy it. You don't know. Like I think that people don't get, as soon as you're kind of there and as soon as you're actually involved in it, people don't realise you're gonna get hooked.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty mashed at wrestling shows. I've gotten very drunk at OTT shows, and it's been quite fun. I don't remember the matches, but we don't need to remember the matches. It's all about having a laugh. But in terms of like you're saying, like your mates, what would be the one match you would pick if someone said, if you're one of your girl mates went up to you and goes, all right, you have one night to get me interested in wrestling, what match would you pick? Because sometimes it was, or just anybody, because some people like will show them, like I go to the example of the Stadium Stampede. You just show them something mad, something out of left field, and not show them like a technical classic. But like, what would you show like a someone who wasn't a wrestling fan that would like get them? No,
maybe I'd even show them a Rumble.
Yeah.
Maybe the kind of pops people get and the excitement. I reckon maybe I'd show them that, or maybe like a Hell in a Cell or something mental.
Yeah, because
need to sit down and watch this shit.
Yeah, because like the Rumble is like, a lot of people know about a lot of non-wrestling fans watch the Rumble. Like they do watch parties in pubs. I mean, I remember there was a great scene in like a Scottish pub last year when Drew won the Rumble. Yeah. And I just like the wackiness of it. I think that you're spot on there. Like on Stadium Stampede as well was just mental. I know a lot of non-wrestling fans who saw that and were like, what the hell's going on there? But it's just it's people. Once you open someone's mind, because there's a lot of closed-mindedness, which happens with everything. You got to get people invested in anything. But I really do like that you can kind of, there's a lot, there's people, a lot of people are starting to turn towards wrestling. Like they're starting to look at it and be like, oh, because there's not a lot of sports that are like a lot of sports, like real sports, they just stay the same, but they're doing it without any fans, whereas wrestling is evolving and kind of that in that way. And what have you thought about like the cinematic matches? Were you a fan of those during the?
Yeah, it's a bit like like the Boneyard match was just fucking brilliant. There's it's been quite hard. I think I've said before, I think they should do like more location matches, because that was brilliant. Like, that was really, really good. And obviously the John Cena and the Fiend, a lot of people judged it, but it's John Cena for me, so obviously I'm going to enjoy it.
What did you think of that as a Cena fan, seeing the different stages of Cena? I hope he comes back as a dick.
I just loved it. Like I just wanted to cry the whole time.
Yeah, it's it was so late in the night, and I was the second night, and I was just like, oh, I feel like a vegetable. I'm gonna die tomorrow. I've had so much alcohol over these last 4 days, and you can just turn on the TV, and it's just like the Fiend. You're the glazed eyes. You're looking at the Fiend and this John Cena, and then all of a sudden he changed into the NWO, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
It was so random. I wasn't expecting it either. Like I think everyone was expecting maybe a squash match or something like that, and I am glad they did the way they did it. It was something different that we wouldn't expect.
Yeah. It was interesting. I'm interested to see what they do this year. I really hope 25,000 fans don't go in, because that's just not
they're doing it over 2 nights again, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to call in the old lads. I'd personally like to see them do another cinematic match. Yeah, it's something like, because there's going to be a lot of filler on it, and I'm hoping that I need to sit down and actually. I want to do a fancy booking Mania kind of setup, but I don't know what I know. I want Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I think that'd be great to set Daniel Bryan off into the sun as kind of like a producer or like a part-time wrestler. Cesaro needs to be put over in a huge way. A lot of this won't happen because it's Vince, but yeah, same old. Love Vinnie Mac. But yeah, I think have we gone? Is there anything else that we could chat about? Is there anything else in the world that's going on?
Too much going on in the world. Too much going on in the world.
Too much going on in the world. It's mad.
But no, I'm looking forward to Royal Rumble this year. Do you know who I think is going to return?
Okay, here we go.
Eva Marie.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, I've seen.
I will be so excited. Like, I'm ready for it.
Oh,
I know she's got a signed contract. She's signed.
Yeah.
We don't know when.
And she's running a lot of marathons by the looks of it, so she's probably going to be in some serious shape.
She's going to look ridiculous.
I think she should bring her boyfriend. Like, her boyfriend is like a fucking bodybuilder at this stage. I think she should bring.
He would do all right. Like, he's like he's a bit like a Charing Cross kind of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think he'd do well. I think.
If he came in as like a manager or something, and because she just seemed. Yeah, just don't have her do wardrobe malfunctions and stuff like that. She when she debuted again, she really felt like her character was just anti-women's revolut, like kind of like I'm still the old diva, I'm still like a blast from the past, and it just didn't.
She's just a different person now, I think. And she does all of her her workouts. She's got all this going on. She's doing her movies. I just think, please come back and just actually do it properly this time. Actually do it properly, because you're in crazy shape, like mental. But who do you think is going to win the Women's Rumble?
I said Ripley. I think Ripley will win. I'm in a Royal Rumble pool, and I have Daniel Bryan winning from number 17, and I have Rhea Ripley winning from number 22. So I
think Sonya Deville.
I would love that, because Kieran will be very happy to hear that if he's listening, because Kieran is the biggest Sonya Deville mark ever. Sonya Deville and Finn Balor, if those two were on Kieran's screens, he'd be happy till the day he dies.
I absolutely adore her. Like, honestly adore. That would just make my life.
And you know who I want? Actually, this is left field, but you know who I want to be the Iron Man in the men's Royal Rumble? I think it'd just be amazing. Kyle O'Reilly. I think if Kyle O'Reilly did it, because Kyle O'Reilly is my favorite wrestler right now. I love he is so good in every way. He's so cute as well. In that little face when he's like 30 minutes into a match, and his selling is just amazing. The air guitar, the matches with Finn Balor were amazing. The fact that he's teaming with
even the ones with Pete as well. The ones that he did.
Yeah, we're getting Pete.
I haven't been as involved with NXT as much as I should have been. Someone I absolutely adore is Dexter Lumis, though. I absolutely adore him.
Something different. It looks like we're heading towards for the Valentine's Day takeover. We're getting Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor, so hook that to my veins. I'll take that. And we have Kyle O'Reilly teaming with Finn Balor next week to take on Pete Dunne's kind of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Like, NXT is doing some good stuff as well. I feel like Karrion Kross is destined to get that belt back at some point, and Scarlett's quite good, so I'm not really complaining about that. But I do
think they pushed him maybe a little bit too quick, though.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I'm not like, I don't really.
I prefer her to him, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Completely honest. I do prefer her to him.
Yeah, I know Damian Priest will debut in the Rumble, because obviously he's been written off TV, so I think he's going to be in the Rumble. I think his gimmick suits the main roster.
I like Damian Priest.
Even though Archer of Infamy is the most confusing nickname in the world, because what is an Archer of Infamy? He probably needs to explain that. But as I was saying, Kyle O'Reilly is the perfect Iron Man. He could take a beating and eliminate a few people and just.
As long as we're not just going to get Brock, then I'll be fine.
I think Vince has definitely been on the phone to Brock. I love that story that Brock has a telephone. Brock's thing is he has a telephone at the end of his ranch, and he sits there for 30 minutes a day, and that's when people can call him. So it's a phone on the hook. So it's either Dana White or Vince calling him, like, so.
To be fair, I think I went through such a big stage where I hated him. I absolutely hated him.
Yeah.
But he's grown on me so much, and I'm like, sometimes I do kind of miss him.
I kind of understand him now. I didn't really understand why he was like always in the main event, but you can't really. He has a chip on his shoulder and an ego, and fair enough, he's a former MMA champion.
But apparently he's a lovely man. Apparently he's really nice.
He does seem quite nice, and hopefully he does live in Canada, so hopefully that doesn't, because apparently there's some Joe Biden they'll be bringing in. There's a bit of a problem at the moment with Joe Biden coming in and introducing the new restrictions, which is right, but in terms of WWE, there's a lot of people who live in Canada because it's the middle of nowhere and they don't want to be involved in
I'm like with with obviously Brock. What about if he comes back and then Roman? What's going to happen with Paul Heyman?
I would love that. I love Kevin Owens. I know he's a pawn. I know he's a pawn for this, but he can work heel, face.
Absolutely fantastic, Kevin Owens. Really. What do you think of AJ Styles?
I watched the Rumble Untold that they did with his return, and I like him. I love this match against Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels in TNA. He's fantastic. Some fantastic matches. Match against John Cena. I know you probably one of your favorite matches of all time. I can tell that's one of your favorite matches. That's AJ Styles and John Cena at the Rumble. Fantastic match. His return was amazing. His debut was amazing. If it wasn't for Kevin Dunn and the camera, but like I think he's really good. He does seem like he has his head. He's helping a lot of younger talent. The match he's had this year with Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy. He can work a lot of styles. His match against Brock Lesnar was amazing back in Survivor Series. I really like him. I think they've gone on long enough that an AJ Styles Kevin Owens feud again. Oh wait, they're on the different brand. Damn. But I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens could be revisited. It's been too long. It's been long enough where people isn't shoving down our throats. They wanted a Mania feud, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would be good. But in terms of styles,
anything with Kevin Owens really be.
Yeah, he's just I love Kevin Owens. I think the babyface work he's doing right now is fantastic. But AJ, I'm still a believer that I want Drew and Sheamus to be a Mania because they have a lot of built-in history. In terms of AJ's got like almost. But I feel like there's not who would you put AJ up against? I'm dodging around it here, but I don't know who I'd put because I don't really know who AJ would be up against at Mania to make it a good feud because I don't want him to be against Elias for about 6 months. That's probably what will happen. But
I feel sorry for Elias. He always gets mugged off.
I know, yeah, but they put him with the big Trump head now, so they put him with Jackson Riker, which just kills him immediately. Unfortunately, guilty by association. But in terms of AJ, Raw's just so like the fact that we're just dodging around, it shows how bad Raw's been.
Yeah, SmackDown has been so good for months.
Oh, it's been amazing.
So good. The only thing I've kind of enjoyed is the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I like the Hurt Business. Apart from that Matt Riddle thing last week, that was funny.
I honestly adore MVP. I absolutely adore him.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. All of them, even, all the Hurt Business I absolutely really like. Even Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I like...
Bobby Lashley gets so much hate. And I feel so sorry for him because I've always really liked Bobby Lashley.
And now that he doesn't have to speak, which is great, he can just be a killer. That's great. Like, he's in the same boat as Brian Cage. He's very intimidating until he opens his mouth. Brian Cage sounds like... he doesn't sound like what he looks like. And Bobby Lashley the same. It's quite a nice, cute voice when they open their mouth, and that's probably not what you want. Yeah, I think he's doing some.
He's really lovely.
Yeah, he just seems like just normal, down to earth guy. And then you have Cedric Alexander, who's an amazing talent. Sure, you were talking about styles there. Him and Ricochet just had an amazing match on Monday night, and one of the best styles.
Ricochet just gets ruined all the time. I feel sorry. I think he's brilliant. Like at one point, he's one of my favorites. Ricochet was easily one of my favorites, and they kind of build him up, and then they just go, "See ya."
Brock Lesnar, yeah, give you the Brock Lesnar for 10 seconds. He didn't really help himself with his outside the ring and like holding parties and stuff like that. That doesn't really help, and Vince sees that. That won't really help your cause if you're trying to climb the ladder. But in terms of, well, definitely, like if we're doing a Mania booking video, we'd love to have you on, and we can talk about this more and talk about matches we'd like to see, because I think we're going to do a big Mad Mania booking video. So we might get a big crew together and just get drunk and make crazy Mania matches, bring past wrestlers back in. We have a few questions, and I remember, so Scott Robertson, Scott WEF1 asked, which John Cena movie is your favorite? Let's talk about John Cena movies. What do you think of them?
He's not the most incredible actor in the world. I'll say this, but it's not going to stop me from watching all of his films.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I used to love The Marine. Loved that.
I'll go with a bit of a left field one here, but this will age me as a teenager I am. But Fred the movie, when he was in Fred the movie, when his cameo in Fred the movie, where he just came in and attitude adjustment, like picked him, that was just so random. It was so weird. It was so out of place, but it was so funny.
My favourite. Have you seen that Blockers film?
I haven't, but I've seen enough of it. I might. Is it on Netflix? Is it?
Hilarious.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
It sounds like a Netflix film to me. It sounds like one of those that'd be on Netflix. I love it.
I think at one point it was on Netflix actually, but I just think, like, you know, he has done some good films. Not incredible, but Blockers. Oh my, he was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, and it just made the whole film.
Yeah.
Because he was hilarious.
Yeah, Daddy's Home. I really like the Daddy's Home films, and the second one was quite funny when he was the dad, because Mark Wahlberg was the cool dad and now he wasn't, and now him and Will Ferrell are working together against his cool dad. I like that. Fast and Furious. He's in the new Fast and Furious, isn't he? Yeah, he's gonna be in that. Fast 9, Jesus. And he's done a lot of Transformers.
Did you see that Playing with Fire that he did?
Oh, I'm not a big movie buff, but I love that just opens up another another hole of like WWE movies. Just some crazy ones. Like there's some just weird and wonderful, like Shawn Michaels and Becky Lynch being in the same film is just weird, and The Miz being in the same film.
You watch, I don't know, you might, if you don't really watch that many films. Did you watch Eva Marie and the Bruce Willis one? Did you see it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't.
Very odd situation. It was weird to watch her, and I was like, she looked incredible. I was like, God, she looks so good, but it was a weird one, weird one. Would you put
WWE movies in the category of so bad they're good, or just like hard to watch, or is it a mix? Because I love so bad it's good movies. Like there's some really old Irish ones like that are really, really bad. Like, and then there's some there's like an Irish martial arts film that had like a budget of $8.5K, and it's just hilarious. It's just...
I do know what I love, like the original Condemned film was Stone Cold.
Oh right, yeah, just because
it went a little bit downhill.
Yeah, WWE have this habit of getting a movie and then just having like 5 or 6 of them, and like the Miz will let you know that The Marine is the best movie of all time. Bless his heart, but I
love The Miz. That guy is just an absolute legend.
Oh, he is like he is like the Miz and Mrs. clips are hilarious. Oh, Marjo is the funniest thing ever. She's such an intimidating person, and if you cross Maurice, Jesus, the Miz gets kept in check by Maurice and that family. Jesus,
I just think both of them together, they're just absolutely brilliant,
fantastic.
And I just think, you know, when I obviously years and years ago when I first obviously started watching it, and you know the Miz was on it, and I was like, who is this absolute melon? And then as time's gone, you think, oh my God, like he's been that one person that he's always been there. Like, I was reading something the other day. He's never been injured. He's always been he's always been there, and I just think like he's very, very underrated, Miz.
Yeah, he just needs the kind of the stuff of Morrison isn't how I don't like it. And it's gonna end in their feud again. But like the Miz does some, like, people give him too much, like a lot of flack, but like the stuff he did with Shane when he was like surprised everyone as a baby face.
I'm probably the only person like Shane McMahon. I absolutely adore Shane McMahon.
I mean, I liked him until they started making him the best in the world and all that sort of stuff. I
missed it. I watched it and I was like, this is so irritating every week. And then when he kind of went for so long, I was like, I missed him.
I feel sorry for his own family. Like Vince didn't even wish him a happy birthday this year. And
every single like year or every time Vince ever wishes anybody a happy birthday, Mags will always send me a message just to remind me every single time that like so and so got a better birthday message than his own son.
Yeah,
so evil.
Did you see the Stephanie one this year? Where she's put up a photo of like a really pixelated photo of them on Instagram.
They cut him out. Like I think it was Shane's birthday this year, and Vince didn't even wish him a happy birthday.
He didn't. And then Stephanie put up the one where it was like really pixelated. I was like, bitch,
bitch.
I was like, bitch, you work in the same company as your brother. You must have some professional photographs.
No,
like, Jesus.
Not.
Get your PR team to crop people out of a photo if you need to. But Jesus Christ. She definitely got
savage.
Yeah. And And another question we have from Steve McKenna. How's Wilbur doing today, and any more baby creations since? This is a reference to the stream last night that we were talking about. Tell us about this. This is Billy.
Last night, I don't know how it came about. Oh no, I did. So we
shout out Billy Hayes, by the way.
There was a weird situation. So there was me. There's about 8 of us playing Among Us. In it, so we obviously started playing another game and went to Among Us. And there was me, Shay, Billy, the OJMO, Santos, David Francisco, Amira, and Magkurt. And we were all playing Among Us, and basically it was Kurt had this like little baby walking around with his character on Among Us.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, me and him just wouldn't leave each other's side the whole game. Like every game we stuck together, and we joked that we were taking our kid out for a walk like the whole way around the game, and it just ended up being this thing. And then I turned around to Kurt and I said, I'm going to put our faces together and we'll make a baby. And he was like, please do it. So that's where Wilbur came into it. And then from there, I don't know if you watched the rest of them, but there was, who else did I put?
OJ, there was OJMO, and there was,
who else did I put together? Weirdest thing. Yeah, OJMO and Magkurt, they were together.
Oh, yeah.
They made a child. Billy and Amira. And then Shane Juba.
Yeah.
So I spent my evening doing that.
Photoshopping, yeah.
It was, and I was obviously putting it in like the group chat, and they were putting it on the stream, and everyone was just laughing at these different things. And then it ended up, I photoshopped for about 20 minutes. I sat there very silently. I was on the stream. I sat there photoshopping a family portrait of me, Kurt, and Wilbur, and put it on Twitter.
Oh.
And now it's just become this thing.
Oh, that it's amazing. It's just those little, as we were saying, those little things that like keep you sane and keep you mentally like those just little moments. Like I'd be playing Jackbox with friends, or like we'd be just on a Zoom call, and all of a sudden someone would be like our like friend Zoom call that we do Zoom calls every Saturday night watching wrestling. It's called Titty Slaps Speak Louder Than Words, because there's some guy who's just obsessed with chops. He doesn't watch wrestling, but he just likes chops. So his favorite match, he doesn't watch any wrestling, but his favorite match is Joe against Kobashi from Ring of Honor, because it's just two lads slapping the crap out of each other. So it's just those little things that like you get like these inside jokes, and it's just fantastic. So especially like it's just get on a Zoom call with a lot of your mates and just go stupid, go stupid drunk.
I think Shay's got one. Might even be tomorrow. I think it's quite late tomorrow. He's got one, and then on the 31st, I think he's doing another 12-hour stream.
Love that.
Which is just loads of us, just being stupid for like 12 hours. Obviously, I won't do.
And I'll be watching.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like it is a laugh. You know, it's a lot of them that I've never even met or have met. You know, there was one the other day. I don't know if you saw the Among Us one where Tim Lee was on it.
Oh yeah, Tim Lee seems like a lovely man, lovely guy.
Tim's one of my best friends. Obviously, I haven't seen him since last February. So, like, obviously, there's so many people in there I haven't even seen for so long. So you get to spend time with them, and obviously then you can jump in their streams and watch their stuff. And see Tim does his stuff, and I always jump into his streams, and he like plays Clone Hero, and I'm sitting there swaying along to it, and like, I think it has been good. It has brought the last kind of few months has brought a lot of people together, which has been really nice.
It's really cool, and like that's I think that's we could speak for hours, and we will speak again. We'll save all our chat for another podcast. But I think that's a great way to end it, because we always end on a nice high. Just be nice to people, and they'll be nice back, and you'll make these friendship avenues. It's simple. It's very, very simple, but people forget about it. But before you leave, Jessy, you can plug everything you have. Get your list out.
No, it's fine. You can follow me on Twitter at WatchesJess. I haven't done so long. I don't know my own plugs anymore. Just Jessy on YouTube. And then go on there anyway. All my links will be on there. I don't know half mine anymore because there's so many different random ones.
Yeah. So yeah, and be nice. I remember you put up on your Instagram yesterday. Some people text people with the with the wrong idea. And
Oh, yeah, you
yeah,
saw
so
that,
yeah. I texted you being like, people will know what I'm talking about, but some people are like, could you imagine going from being that confident and being like, here, look at this, to go 2 minutes later being like, always hated you, you're a prick. It's like, fucking, don't be like that guy.
The
Don't.
thing is, though, it's sad, really, because things like that happen so many times. It goes over my head. It just goes, no.
Oh yeah, it's and water off a duck's back. And yeah, so text nice, be nice, say nice things, and people will say nice things back. I have been the man that genetics forgot, Rian. I've been joined by Jessy. That was a really, really good chat. And this will, I don't know when this will be out, but you will see Jessy on this channel again, 100%, if she is willing to come on again. And that has been Jessy. And no problem. As we say at the end of this episode, don't be a dick.